Hey, hello everyone. In this video, we are going to walk through the entire process of submitting your CS 112 assignment using GSubmit. So, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw to show you a schematic of what the entire process entails and what are the steps that are required for you to perform a submission of your assignment back to us. So, let me draw a picture here. And so this is over here. Let's say this piece in green is your computer. So this is your computer over here, and you have a certain number of Java files on this computer. So let's say you have statistics.java, you have array statistics.java, then you got printday.java, and finally you have square root dot Java. Now these files are currently on your computer. The very first thing you're going to do is you're going to take all of these files from here and you're going to transfer them. You're going to transfer them to the lab computer. So I'm going to take all of these files and transfer them to a lab computer. And again, I'm going to draw the lab computer over here in black. So let's say there's some lab computer over here on BU's network. So there's somewhere, let's use the word lab for the time being. It's a lab computer, and this lab computer is on the BU's network. So this is currently at BU. Okay, so this is part one. You're going to take all your files from here and bring it to the black computer. And once they're brought to the black computer, then you're going to perform another process on the black computer to bring it to my computer. So this over here is a computer in blue, and this computer over here is a computer that happens to belong to the instructor of CS 112. And only once all these files in red have come onto the blue computer, your submission has been completed. And I'm going to walk through the entire process. I'm going to show the process. How do you take your files from the red computer, bring it on the black computer, and then from the black, how do you bring it back to the blue computer? And every single step that I show you right now can be done from your computer. You do not have to go to the lab. You do not have to do this on the lab. You could if you wanted to, but you're not required to go to the lab computer and do this. Okay, so I'm gonna use the Mac to type my commands here. So if you have a Mac computer, you could be following this exactly on your computer. These steps can very well be done on a Linux computer. So if you have an Ubuntu or some kind of variant of Linux distribution, you should be okay. And if you have a Windows computer, then I do encourage you to download two things. One of the things I want you to download is WinSCP. Is basically a software that allows you to transfer files, and then I ask you to download Putty. And once you get Putty installed, you should be able to type the commands that I'm using on this computer of mine here. Okay, so let's get started here. And what I'm going to do here is this is Eclipse. I currently have Eclipse running here, and on Eclipse I've got the starter code of statistics.java, square root.java, printday.java, and array statistics. This is completely the starter code, the code that I've provided to you on Blackboard. Now make sure that you don't deviate from these file names. Array statistics has a capital A and a capital S. Printday has a capital P and a capital D. Square root has a capital S and a capital R. And statistic has a capital S. All of these files belong under the package hw1. So in these files, you should be having one of the first lines as package hw1. Now, this is really important that you don't deviate from the file names. They should be consistent as per the starter code that was provided to you. Okay. So let's say you've got your code completed. You're now in the process of doing a submission. So what you would do on a Mac or on a Linux computer is you first open up a terminal. So open up a terminal, and once you have your terminal opened up on your screen right here, you're going to start the process of transferring the files from your computer over to the lab computer. Now, how do I do this? The way you do this is first figure out where these files are on your computer. So on my computer over here, if I were to open these files up, they happen to be inside the directory. In fact, if I open up a directory here, is right here. So On my computer, I currently have a folder called uh, 112 assignments. That's my Java Eclipse project. This could be named slightly differently on your computer, but inside that folder on my computer, I have another folder called source, and inside source, I've got hw1, and inside hw1, I've got array statistics, print day, square root, and statistics.java. So currently, these files are on my computer. What I would like to do is I would like to bring them on the lab computer. So the way I bring them on the lab computer is, first thing, on your terminal, you're going to connect to the lab computer using a command called SSH. So I'm going to type in SSH, type in your BUID. So here's my BUID at csa1.bu.edu. Okay, so I've got this piece over here is my BUID. All of this piece of BUID in red, and everything in blue over here is the computer that I'm connecting to after the @ sign. Now, if CSA1 does not work for you, I do encourage you to also try CSA2. Okay, so when you type this on a terminal and press enter, it's going to ask you for a password, your BU password. Type in a BU password. I mean, type your password. The password won't be shown to you on the screen, but just go ahead, type your password, press enter, and at this point, you will be connected to the BU machine. So what's interesting here is that at this point, any command that I type on my terminal will not get executed on my machine, but will get executed on the BU lab computer. So make sure that you have this message that should be shown to you. You should have something very similar telling you that you have connected to the BU's machine. As long as you see something like this, support at cs.bu.edu, you are currently on the BU's machine. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, on this machine, I'm going to first create a directory. How do I create a directory? Using the command line. So I'm going to say make dir cs112. Okay, create a directory, and where this directory is created, you can find that location by typing the command pwd. So I know this can be a little bit overwhelming if you're doing the command line for the very first time, but I'm going to have a workshop a little bit later in the term that is going to get you a little bit but I would make this transition into the command line a little bit more seamless. But for a time being, as you're following this video for the first time, and if you're looking at the command line for the first time, this can be a little bit overwhelming, but it isn't difficult, and getting good with the command line is a good skill to have. So all I've done here is I've created a directory called cs112. So here, this piece over here is the name of the directory that I'm creating, and the command to create a directory is make dir. Now, what does pwd do? Well, pwd is a command on the shell that tells you what is your current working directory. Where are you currently on your file system? I'm currently inside my home directory called attarwl. This will very well be very different from yours. So if you get a completely different output here, that's fine. That's completely okay. Okay, this is on my directory, which happens to be inside faculty, which happens to be inside the home directory, and yours will be slightly different. So what I'm going to do now is, the directory that I just created, cs112, let's do an ls here. Ls shows you all the contents of your current directory. My current directory is attarwl. That's my username. If I do an ls, it shows me my directory that I just created is right here, cs112. Now, if I go into the directory, if I change my current directory into cs112, and again do an ls, it's empty. There's nothing in there. And also keep in mind that I'm currently on the lab computer. In my lab computer, I have no files currently in place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring all my files from my computer onto this lab computer and put them in the directory cs112. Now, how do I do this? So open a new tab here. Open a new tab on a terminal. When I open a new tab, I can just do kind of distinguish one tab from the other. The first tab over here is basically the lab computer that I've connected to. The second tab that I just opened up is just my computer. Okay, it's just currently my computer, the Mac computer that I'm currently running things on. So what I'll do here is I'll first I'll first go into the location where my files are. Where are my files on my computer? My files are over here. They're all currently inside the directory hw1. So let's just drop this hw1 onto the terminal. And if I just take hw1 from here, and if I drop this on the terminal, you should be able to get the location of where your files are on your computer. So it tells me that on my computer, all my Java files are inside hw1, and hw1 is inside src is inside the 1112 assignments folder, which is inside fall 2017, and so forth. So let's just take this location. So in fact, what I'll do is I will go all the way up to src, and I will do a cd. I will change my directory into there. So if I do cd, press enter, and now do an ls, you should be able to see the directory hw1 right here. Okay. Now, what are we going to do with this hw1 directory? We're going to copy the entire hw1 directory from my computer over to the lab computer, which is running on the first tab here. Again, just to confirm, if I do an ls over here on the lab computer, it's currently empty. There's nothing in there. On my computer, which is on the shell over here, on the second tab here, if I do an ls, I can see there is hw1. Just ignore this piece over here. Doesn't matter. This is just a directory I had created on my computer. So just ignore that. Okay, so I've got hw1 here. And hw1 over here, you can see, contains all my files. And I would like to bring all those files to the lab computer. So what I'll do is, the command to do that is scp-rp. Okay, don't worry too much about the command yet, and why do I have a hyphen there, what does that R mean. We're going to learn this in the workshop a little later, but right now what I'm showing you here is I'm trying to copy. Think of the scp as a copy command. It's a copy command that is going to recursively, the R stands for recursive, is going to recursively copy the entire directory hw1 from my computer and bring it to the lab computer. So scp-rp, which directory would you like to copy here? The directory that I would like to copy here is hw1. Okay, by putting hw1 space the location where I would like to go to. And before I complete this, again, I just want to make sure that we are all on the right track here. Keep in mind, I'm currently inside the src directory on my computer, so this is important. I'm currently inside this location. This location will be very well different from your computer, but keep in mind that you have gone all the way inside the directory src as I've shown here. Once you're inside the src directory and when you do an ls, you should be able to see hw1. Okay, as long as you see hw1, you're on the right track here. At this point, you should be able to type in the command that I'm typing it exactly the way I'm doing it over here. So put in scp-rp space hw1. Okay, so this is the entire directory I would like to copy. Where would I like to copy to? Well, I would like to copy to my username. So put in a username, your BU username, at csa1.bu.edu. Now, what I'm saying here is that, look, you need to copy this entire location, hw1, from my computer over to the computer that happens to be here in red, the csa1.bu.edu. Think of this as a name of a computer that is currently on the BU's network. So on the BU's network, you have a computer called CSA1, which is on the BU's network, and in that computer in red, use my username. Use my username. I'm asking you to change ATTARWAL to your whatever is your BUID. Okay, so you need to replace that to your BUID. Once you've done this, you're going to say colon, and type in the location of where you would like to put the directory hw1 on the lab computer. So the location is CS112. That's the directory I just created. Where is this directory currently? If I type in pwd on the lab computer, you can see that CS112 is inside the directory ATTARWL, which is inside factory, which is inside home. Copy this entire location from here, do Control C or Command C, copy this and paste it just after the colon sign. Okay, so this should be the command that would allow you to transfer every single file inside the directory hw1 from your computer over to the lab computer. Okay, so again, I'm going to draw some colors here. this piece in red is on your computer. Okay, the directory currently is on your computer, and you're transferring this everything onto the computer, which is CSA1. That's the name of the computer you're transferring to. But remember, this computer CSA1 happens to be on the BU's network, and the network here is bu.edu. Now on that network, I'm going to use, there are many people at BU that have an account on that network, on that computer. On that computer, use my account, which is ATTARWL. You're going to replace that piece in black with whatever is your username. Now on that account, which is my account, I have many directories. I have many files and many directories. I would like to put this into the directory which is home factory Atharval CS112. Okay, so let's press an enter and see what happens. And again, keep in mind, I'm typing this entire command on the second tab here. So on my terminal, I have right there, this is tab 1. This piece over here is my tab 2. On my tab 2, which is my computer, okay, this is my computer or my Mac over here, and the tab 1 over here is the lab computer, okay, because I've already typed in SSH. If you remember at the start of the video, I typed in SSH. That allowed me to connect to my lab computer. Okay, so on the second tab that I'm currently running, I'm going to type in this entire command here and press an enter. Let's press an enter here. And again, it's going to ask you for a password. Type in your password over here. And if everything has been successful, you should see the message. That all of these four files have been correctly transferred from your computer to the lab computer. Well, let's confirm this. So if I go back to tab 1 here, tab 1, previously when I typed in ls, it was empty. There was nothing in there because the directory that I created was empty. But now if I type in ls again, you will see something called hw1 present. And if I go into hw1, if I do cd hw1 and do an ls again, you should see all your files from your computer that have been brought over to the lab computer. So let's take a pause here. Let's just make sure what has happened so far. What has happened so far is, if I go back to the very first picture that I drew, which was this picture right here, we have taken all the files, all these red files, and I have brought them onto the lab computer, which is over here in black. I'm still not done. I still have one more piece missing. Okay, I still haven't got your files here. You must execute the command GSubmit on the black computer. So now that all the files have been brought onto the black computer, which is the BU computer, you're going to run a new command called GSubmit that will take all the files from here and bring it to my computer. Okay, how do I do this? So coming back to the terminal, and on the terminal, make sure you're currently on tab 1. Tab 1 is the lab computer that you're connected to. Okay, tab 2 was your personal computer. Now, because the files have been brought to the lab computer, and if I do an ls again, you can see these are all my files here. Okay, what you need to do is you need to submit the directory hw1 to us, and the directory hw1 contains all the Java files. So make sure at this point, when you do pwd, you should at least be at this location where you have the hw1 directory. That hw1 directory contains all your Java files in there. And because I'm going to submit the directory and not submit the files individually, I will just do cd ... just to make sure I go one folder up. ... just takes you to the parent folder. I'm going to the parent folder of homework 1, which is CS112. So if I do that and do ls again, I can see my directory hw1 now. And at this point, you're going to do GSubmit. Type in the command GSubmit, and you're going to type in CS112, and you're going to pass in hw1. Okay, so what this does is this says I'm going to take the entire hw1 directory, and which is currently on the lab computer, which is this directory right here. And I'm going to perform a submission into the course CS112. Okay, make sure C is lowercase, S is lowercase, and you have 112. At this point, it should bring everything to my computer. So when you press and enter here, now because I've already done this previously, but let me just show you. Let me press and enter here. When I press and enter here, it's going to show me that the username, which is me, has submitted on Sunday, September 17th. That's a timestamp. On that timestamp, all these files, which is arraystatistics.java, printday.java, squareroot.java, and statistic.java, they all got submitted on that day. Now, if you're doing this for the very first time, you won't see this message immediately. What you're going to see is to enter your first name, enter your last name, and enter your BUID. Okay, and once you type in your first name, your last name, and your BUID, you should see a message very similar to what I'm seeing right now on my screen. And only at this point you are completely done. Okay, when you see this message with this timestamp telling you that you have submitted the files, you're completely done, and your assignment has been submitted to me, and that's it. You're done. You're just done. So congratulations, you got your first submission done, and we're going to repeat the same process for homework 2, homework 3, and for homework 2 and homework 3 and later homeworks. The only thing that will change here is that instead of HW1, you'll be typing in HW2 or HW3, HW4, and so forth for later assignments. Okay, and again, this can be overwhelming, but as you get better with the command line, and you will during the term, and with the workshops that are coming up in this term, you will see that your productivity, your efficiency will definitely increase significantly with using the command line. So so do let me know if you have any questions on the submission process, and I'll be happy to get them clarified for you.